Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I think more people know my email address than don't know my email address. I mean, I share it in just about every one of the videos that we do. Chris@Pirillo.com. It's kind of branded into your brain. That's kind of the idea. I've always been an email addict, though. From the first email that I sent in a computer lab on the campus of the University of Northern Iowa. So, imagine my happiness when I received an email from Simon, all the way from sunny Portugal, or as he says, Europe's west coast. It's his first email to me, and he said, plus a top 5 list. He says sometimes he comes into the chat room at live.pirillo.com as the occasional user, Tebow. And I don't know if that would be the direct reference to the Ewok named Tebow, although if it is, then Tebow would certainly appreciate the naming of Wicket, who was named after the Ewok in Return of the Jedi. Yes, as you've responded live the other day, Tebow is an Ewok from the Forest Moon of Endor. More specifically, the one who gets zapped more than once by R2-D2. I have subscribed to your YouTube channel for some time now and have found the videos really interesting. Your opinions really seem to come straight from the heart, and it's good to know that not all the internet is evil. We have a safe haven that is your live chat room. I admire your stance on certain issues, especially the recent 50 reasons why I switched to macOS 10, and how you will not at any cost consider yourself a fanboy, which is just outright courageous. These days, if you have a Mac or an iPod or an iPhone, it's as if you were pressured by other owners of Macs, iPods, or iPhones to be a part of the Mac community, whatever that means. No thanks, I say. And to that end, I just realized as I was reading that, I've got this wallpaper that one of you guys emailed me. It's got the Apple logo and the Windows logo, and underneath it says, choose your poison. Which is kind of interesting. Kind of how it goes. Well, let's just put aside the introductory text and hit what I hope you will find to be an interesting top 5 list. My list is about email etiquette, or 5 ways to make your emails more interesting and fun for all. I don't know if such a list has already been sent to you, but in any case, here are my views that I'm sure you can mix with other people's views to make a super list. Note, this list applies to regular non-professional emails or only fun or personal emails, he says. Number 1, when sending to more than one person, always use the BCC field. For those of you who don't know, BCC stands for blind carbon copy. And what it does is hides everyone's email address from one another, which is great if so-and-so number 1 within your group of friends, it doesn't necessarily want so-and-so number 2 knowing their email address. Another advantage is the less email addresses that can be seen, the less risk there is for them to be picked up by spammers. And when that happens, we all lose. Number 2, instead of sending videos as attachments, just send the videos link on the web. Before the days of video hosting sites like YouTube, it was common for people to manually send videos of all kinds of stuff. Now this is unnecessary. Just send the link for people to click on. This is much easier for all, and for various reasons. For one, your friends may only have internet access at school or work, and many times multi-megabyte downloads are restricted. Aside from that, the computers may not have the media players of any kind installed to watch such videos. However, it is very common that these computers have their internet browsers updated, so video watching via links shouldn't be a problem. So forget the clunky attachments and just link it. I have the same feeling, and it's somewhat related to number 3. What is with all the PowerPoint presentations? Do I really have to download these onto my computer to open them, only to see that they're a complete waste of my time? Luckily, some email providers like Gmail allow you to open these within the browser to scan quickly through them. However, many don't, and the problems, point number 2, show up again. And boy, am I tired of receiving the same PPT or PPS files over and over again with their smiling cats and pretty landscape and moral whatnot. Who makes these? I have a feeling they're on the same presentation since the mid-90s, endlessly circulating from email address to email address in a vast circle of life, and only instead of life, it's a circle of my waste of time. Don't send attachments if you could all help it. If just send a link where it can be downloaded elsewhere, you know, I agree. And he was noting about Gmail reading PowerPoints. What I was going to say, instead of emailing Word docs or emailing spreadsheets or emailing presentations, just open up a Google Docs account. It's free. You probably already have a Google account. Just make your docs at docs.google.com. That's DOCS. You can make word processing documents there, spreadsheets, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Those are Microsoft's brands for a word processor, a spreadsheet application, and a presentation app. Sometimes I jumble my words, but I hope you know what I'm trying to get to here. If you could ignore the bouncing cows, I will continue with the list. Number 4, urban email myths or UEMs. If you get anything in your inbox that seems too scary or unbelievable to be true, that's because it probably isn't true at all. Nokia is not handing out cell phones, Microsoft is not paying anyone to receive forwarded messages, and there isn't an Indian girl with only 2 legs who needs an elephant tusk transplant. Of course, the few times I actually read these kinds of emails, it usually takes no more than 10 seconds to find through any search engine that it's all a blatant hoax. So, if you want your friends to believe you are, when you open your mouth, you're telling the truth, don't forward anything without finding out for yourself whether it's true or not. And no, you're not off the hook when you start your hoax forward with, I don't know if this is true, but I'm letting you know anyway. When in doubt, delete the message. Don't send us trash in the form of urban email myths. Oh, so true. That's as annoying as watching cows bounce up and down on some guy's computer screen. Number 5, keep your email short. Studies show that the average internet user spends about 4 seconds on any given page. Our attention spans are getting dim. Also, we have so much other great stuff to do online, it just isn't fair to take up everybody's time with really long emails. Rule of thumb, if it was too long to read yourself before sending, it'll be too long for others to read after sending. Short lists of content are okay, as is the occasional joke, but never a string of jokes. Strings just aren't funny. If it's an interesting news story you want others to know about, just send the link to the story and maybe your own short opinion. If you send the whole story in an email, remember what I said lasted about 4 seconds? Right. That's about the time people would take before they mark your boring long email as read. So just send the link in 1 or 2 words and let them be interested in reading the rest or not. Note, when you're sending a top 5 list to Chris Pirillo and or writing to him for the very first time, this is the only time where you are exempt from this rule. Very true. And make sure you run a spell checker. And might I add, even Simon, I don't know if English is your first or second language, but you have excellent grammatical structure, excellent spelling, excellent punctuation. This would be the second person who I believe is ESL or speaks English as a second language who has a grasp on the language much better. I can't even finish that sentence. Okay, I totally just destroyed my point there. Anyway, so Chris, I hope you find this list disturbing in a good way. Please let me know your thoughts, and hopefully this will make one of the videos I usually receive via RSS feeds. But if it doesn't, that's okay, because it's great to participate. I made this list up on my own and wrote this email in one piece, so there are no copy-paste here. All the best. Congrats to your new desktop system. I've been an anti-Mac fanboy for years, but since I don't want my next computer to be Vista-based, I just may convert myself to the Mac side. You heard it here first, so Simon... he's also known as Tebow when he comes in the chat room. Now we need to have other people come into the chat room with other Ewok names. Let's see here. There was Chief Chirpa. What were the other Ewoks' names? I forget. Wicket, Chief Chirpa, Tebow. It's been so long. I'm going to have to, open up my Star Wars books again. Ezo? I think he's making that up. Oh, no matter what, thank you for your email, and I appreciated it. Very well crafted, and I'm sorry I was not able to eloquently, speak forth the language which you apparently grasp better than I do, because that sentence would not have made any sense had I written it down. But thank God these podcasts are audio and video, right? Well, anyway, whether you like Ewoks, whether you have an Ewok handle or not, or whether you have tips and tricks related to the internet, feel free to email them to me. My email address, if you didn't catch it at the beginning of the video, is chris@pirillo.com. And, I check it every 5 minutes, and I do respond. I try to respond. It may be a very short response, but now you may understand why I leave short responses, because I read a lot of email. Okay. Any other way, you're also welcome to swing by the chat room. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we're typically talking tech, helping people with their... I can't help but stare at the bouncing cows. Sometimes we talk about fun stuff, too. We're doing it right now. Why don't you join us? We're at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later. Moo.